Well, Roy, was that a good look at a typical workout for you? Is that how you've been preparing day in and day out?
That was actually a little bit tougher. I'd never been double teamed. That was triple team. I had 3 guys on me.
Did you bring in the kid specifically to mimic Jared?
Yeah, because he gets really low, and he can shoot on that leg, and he's just relentless.
What is the experience like, though, being able to bring your family out here and kind of keeping it light before a big fight?
Anytime you can keep it light and just make an everyday activity, just makes fighting, just fun, where you're just like, it's just another day at the office. You just kind of go to work and then you go home.
Is it hard to get excited? I don't mean this as an insult to Jared, but I know you've been in some big fights. He's got that grinding mentality, that grinding style. Is it tough to get excited and get fired up for a fight like that, knowing what it's probably going to be like?
No, this fight's definitely exciting. I mean, Jared's coming off of 3 wins. He just beat Stefan Struve. Stefan Struve knocked out Stipe. Stipe had a title shot. I mean, there's a whole bunch of gimmicks about. I mean, this used to be UFC 196. Now it's not UFC 196. It used to be pay-per-view. Now it's free. There's a lot of gimmicks to this whole card.
But it's going to be 15 minutes of trying to stay off the cage, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Because but we're in a fight, so I'm going to try to make it at least a fight.
There's been a lot of criticisms of him being a boring fighter. I mean, would you agree with that assessment?
A boring fighter? I don't know what boring fighter. Does he come out and fight? Is what you're asking, or is he a boring fighter?
I'm saying people say that he's boring. Would you agree with that?
You define boring fighter. Because
not exciting?
No, because a boring fighter, because if you have the word fighter in it, that means you fight. Does he go out and fight? That's really the definition of fighter. I go out and I fight guys. Then there's also the guys that play tag, and I don't consider them fighters either. They just want to do points, and they're like, oh, woo, 15 minutes is over. I outpointed. And that's not a fight either. I mean, I'm an old school guy. Now, the UFC was founded off of there was no time limit. It was basically you got to finish the guy. And that's kind of, I'm still that mentality is still with me.
So do you consider Jared a fighter since he's a wrestler first?
I think he's an athlete. He's a UFC athlete.
So I guess, you had fun today. You talked about, kind of finding a way to keep it light, have fun. Is your career still fun to you at this point?
Yeah, no, I actually, this camp I had a resurgence in, with Fretson, with jiu-jitsu, just finding guys that I can actually just bounce ideas off of now. It's just really cool to, and then actually over Extreme, we have more than 2 heavyweights. That's astonishing to have in a camp, as long as you can have any guys that are over 200 pounds naturally, is really cool.
I thought it was interesting to see Fretson here. I mean, people know about your grappling background and how good you are, but it seems like a lot of people have kind of characterized you now as, now you're the knockout guy. So you're not really, you haven't really embraced your roots necessarily your last couple of fights. Is that something that you plan on doing?
No, I just, the thing about Fretson is he just made me just have that new passion for jiu-jitsu. It's just that new resurgence of, wow, I can do this, I can do that. You forget that you had, I always have a hammer, but I forgot I have a drill too. I'm like, oh, I could drill them to death instead of just hammering them. So it's cool to have a whole bunch of tools in your toolbox.
Do you feel like maybe your opponents or even fans have forgotten about your prowess in the ground game and how good you are at jiu-jitsu and grappling?
No, I think hardcore MMA fans already knew about the jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. UFC fans never really saw it, I think, until the last fight, where they're like, oh, he actually got takedowns. Well, what was that? Because I think I had 4 more than my whole UFC fight career. My first 6 fights first 6 fights ever were all submissions, and then I got away and I found out that knockouts were pretty easy, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna knock people out. That's just so much funner.
You have an aggressive jiu-jitsu game, almost what you'd call combat jiu-jitsu. Now it's all going sports jiu-jitsu. Do you think you would have gotten into it if right away you were seeing people butt scoot towards people and berimbolo, or would you I'm going to go do something else, not go upside down and scoot around on my butt?
No, the thing about the butt scoot game, back when I used to do jiu-jitsu, where I do grappling tournaments, the butt scoot game, the guys that you would go on a butt scoot game, they would actually attack with the butt scoot. They're not just going, oh, I don't have a takedown, so I'm just trying to defend those 2 points. They would actually go, no, I just suck at the takedown, and I'm going to try to beat you up while I'm on the ground. and you gotta and it looks funny when a guy's running from you and you're scooting on your butt and doing a crab curl.
So what does Dana think of Jackson's hair?
You know what? I don't know. I think everybody thinks he's so cute. I mean, he can go. I got the best of both worlds. As you saw, I get comments that he's a great-looking girl, to he's a good-looking boy. But as you can see, he's all boy. But Mama wants to keep his hair. That's why I have to keep my hair. It's just something that, as long as the wife's happy, you're happy.
Are you jealous that he has better hair than you?
I'm not jealous. My wife is, though. I'm not jealous.
The greatest thing to take away from this is you see fighters come out here and maybe they're clenched up or maybe they're thinking. You come out legitimately relaxed and having fun. Is that something you learn over time? Is that your personality? How can other fighters learn to go in relaxed and fun and enjoy their life?
I think it all depends on how you look at this fight game. Like, I look at this as just like regular sports competition. It's like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to put my pants on the same way as everybody else. Like, this is just work, and it's something that I enjoy. If you teach a man how to fish and do something that he loves every day, it's not considered work or considered a job. And I look at this as just something that's fun, and I'm blessed to be able to do it, and just blessed to be able to have good people around me.